Hello, everyone, and welcome to Meowmix, a Carolina Panthers podcast. My name is Steven.
My name is Jerry.
So let's talk about this secondary. It is by far the most, or the weakest point on this entire team. I don't think anyone would disagree with that.
It's
Jerry,
the strongest. You're wrong.
So let's just go ahead and caveat this by saying, yes, we know eventually, at some point, the Panthers are going to have to address the secondary, whether it's this year or next year or the year after or whatever the case may be. We don't want the secondary to suck this bad forever. So we're talking for the year 2020, correct?
Well, I think we're talking about this year and the future. We're talking about the whole organization on what we should do for the safety or secondary.
But we're talking about what we're doing this year, not just for this year, but what we're going to be doing, looking at the current state of the roster and improving it for this year and beyond.
Correct.
Okay. My thought would be leave it as is.
Okay.
For this year, unless we can get Jamal Adams at a decent price. Okay. And by the way, if we can get Jamal Adams at a decent price, I think that changes my thoughts. So as of right now, if we don't do any more moves in terms of getting a major upgrade at any of these positions, I say let the young guys play. We drafted an entire team full of defense, in our draft. We've got young guys everywhere, including the secondary. Right now, our secondary looks like it's going to be Dante Jackson and Corn Elder at the corners. Those are the penciled-in starters right now. Trey Boston and Jeremy Chin at safeties. Shaq Thompson and Tahir Whitehead at linebacker. And then Brian Burns also listed as a linebacker. So, let the young guys play. Let them get experience. Save the money. If we're going to suck this year, we're going to suck regardless of if we sign one good corner.
Yep. I'm very similar to you. I don't think we can go out and sign a Logan Ryan. I think he's going to cost too much. But I do think we need to bring in someone just to continue to push some of these guys. Dante Jackson doesn't seem to be a locker room leader. And the guy I'm about to mention isn't a locker room leader either. But he's all the things that Matt Rule is looking for right now. And I'm saying bring these guys in on a 1 or 2 year deal, where the 2 year deal is you can just chop them for no real cap hit.
Sure. So you're saying, wait a minute. Oh, dang. I was going to guess. I was going to say, so he's from Temple or Baylor. You say he's everything Matt Rule is looking for.
Yeah, no.
We've talked about Eli Apple before.
Yeah, Eli Apple, he's 25 years old, 6'1", was a first-round pick from the New York Giants. I think he has potential. He hasn't really lived up to his potential, but bringing him in here to see if maybe he can, maybe this organization can fix him, or, he plays better. Here. Another guy, and again, these are all 1 or 2 year deals. Nothing big, all low. Another one I was thinking of was Dre Kirkpatrick. Now, this is more, I want a veteran in that cornerback room. He's 30 years old. He's been around the league for a while. Signed to a 1 year deal for a couple $1 million. We only have $6 million again in cap space. Let him work out there. And then next year, let him walk, or if he plays well enough, maybe sign him to another couple-year deal. And the last name that comes up for me, Javion Elliott. He was here last year. He played pretty well. Another young guy. At least he knows the facility. He knows the guys here. Marty Herney's familiar with him. Maybe bring him back. Let him, try to compete for a role.
So I'm looking at a list here of the top remaining eligible free agents for 2020. Cam Newton, by the way, number 1 on that list, but he does not help us out here. Darquez Denard is the top remaining corner. He was with Cincinnati last year. He's 28 years old. He's listed at number 4 on this list. Eli Apple and Dre Kirkpatrick are 12 and 13, by the way. And I don't even see Javion Elliott on the list. So another guy that's listed here is, he is on the list. He's 29. Tremaine Johnson, a little bit of an older guy, but if you want a veteran presence, he's out there. Tremont Williams, if you want a much older guy, he's 37, but he's out there. So it depends on what you're looking for, right? Are you looking for like a guy to step in and start and take over for Corn Elder or just, Jackson?
Honestly, I really do not want Corn Elder to start. So, yeah.
Yeah, Corn Elder couldn't even stay on the team like the last couple of years.
Oh, man. I mentioned this on the podcast before, but I remember the game in Seattle when Dante Jackson went out and Russell Wilson just picked Corn Elder apart and scored, I think it was 2 or 3 touchdowns in like the second half, and just they won the game because of him. Oh.
I mean, I have the obvious answer here.
Okay.
Ross Cockrell.
Yeah, I am fine bringing Ross Cockrell back.
Why is Ross Cockrell not on this team right now?
I don't know.
That makes no sense to me. He would be cheap, and he's a position of massive need.
And he could be a locker room guy.
He knows he knows the players, and they like him from all accounts. I mean, he seems like a good guy.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I mean, he's 28. He's not any older than any of the other guys we're talking about, other than Eli Apple, who's a little younger, but obviously has some issues. Yeah, bring Ross Cockrell back. He played very well in his 2 starts, or 3 starts, or however many starts he had. He played well in those starts, and as a kind of a reserve to come in, we were never like, oh my God, here comes Cockrell. Hey, they're going to be throwing his way. I mean, he always played well.
Yeah. No, I agree. I didn't even think about Cockrell until you just mentioned it, but he's the type of guy I would like to bring back. He's not going to cost you a lot. He's not, a distraction. He plays solidly out there. We're not going to get a Jalen Ramsey or, a stud corner right now. I think that's a solid move, but I don't know.
I mean, you're either looking at Tony Pride, who we just, 4th round pick to surprise everyone and come in to start, or you're looking at Corn Elder, or you're hoping that Kenny Robinson guy who, by the way, was drafted as a safety, but played a lot of corner in his stint with the in college and in the XFL. You're hoping that one of those 3 guys can hit, but we know Corn Elder's not the guy.
No.
Right? We don't know anything about the rookies that we drafted. We obviously are hoping that one of them does something, but bring in Ross Cockrell and cut Corn Elder. That would be my solution.
How is that guy really on this roster?
I know.
That is what's really crazy.
It makes no sense to me. So that would be my caveat to saying leave the guys alone and let the young guys play. Just bring Ross Cockrell back as that veteran presence who can provide some stability to the position.
Yeah. And these guys aren't going to make this defense a top-tier defense. These guys are going to make these defense, hey, they can play decent defense too. Oh my God, can someone just deflect a pass?
Yeah, Cockrell, just real quick, his stats. He ended up with 62 combined tackles last year, 2 interceptions, 8 pass deflections, and he only gave up 37 receptions on 68 targets. That's pretty damn good.
I think you won me over with Cockrell. I'm not even going to joke. I still wouldn't mind taking a look at Eli Apple because, that contract with Las Vegas Raiders.
Well, he's got the number 1 or, first round pick pedigree, and, he actually did have a pretty good season with the Saints. So,
yeah.
I'd be okay with that as long as they could get him at a decent price.
I mean, what does he get a cost? $2-3 million? I can't imagine that he's going to cost that much right now. I mean,
yeah, and as you said, whoever we bring in, we would want it to be one of those 2 or 3 year deals that can be cut after 1. Right? So, okay, well,
I think that pretty much wraps it up for today.
I think that's it. Good show. Yep. We'll be back at some point. There is a little bit of news with training camps potentially able to start on time depending on the state, but it sounds like all the hard hit states like New York and California have come out and said that they're willing to help the pro teams start getting back to some sort of normalcy. So it sounds like everybody's sort of ready to bring sports back, at least. So hoping that within the next month, maybe we have some good news on that front and can start talking about, training camps.
Actual stuff, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, we want to thank everybody for listening. If you have any questions, comments, or have any ideas for shows, you can email us at mailbag@meowmixpodcast.com. Please give us a 5-star review on Apple Podcasts and subscribe wherever you're listening now.
Everybody stay safe out there. We will be back soon, and until then, keep pounding.